Stay tuned.
Okay, thank you, Caroline. An update on an officer-involved shooting in downtown Shreveport. The Caddo coroner has identified the man shot by police as 32-year-old Brandon Davenport. Now, it happened Sunday afternoon after a woman reported an armed man trying to get into her car. She sped away, and when police got to Crockett and Marshall Streets, they say the man was still there and had a gun. Police opened fire, shooting and killing him.
In this week's Arklatex Crime Files, one question still remaining in the tiny town of Gilmer, Texas. Where's Kelly Wilson? It's a question they've been asking themselves for more than 30 years. Wilson disappeared back in January of 1992, and since then, there have been no signs of where she could be. Since then, family, friends, and law enforcement have been searching for her. The case is one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in the state of Texas, and it has been at the center of plenty of theories and conspiracies, including a religious satanic cult. Sunday was Kelly's 51st birthday.
Is just the uncertainty, the ambiguity of exactly what happened. Is that the part that keeps you up at night? Are those the questions that, just kind of keep your mind wandering and kind of lingering a little bit?
Yeah, it's most certainly the issue is the lack of closure and not knowing what happened to her. And it's hard to deal with, frankly. And
Where is Kelly Wilson? The focus of this week's Arklatex Crime Files podcast. In the episode, hear more of my conversation with Robbie Wilson. We revisit our coverage of the case and the new efforts to bring closure to this case. You can find the episode at ktbs.com/podcast. Tonight, Texas's hemp industry could be on the verge of being smoked out.
95 ayes, 44 nays. Senate Bill 3 is passed to third reading.
Late last night, the Texas House approving SB 3, that bill providing a total ban on the sale of possession of THC cannabis products. People caught with products containing THC could face a year in jail. Vape pens also would be banned. Texas Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick even threatening a special session if the issue was not passed. He said in recent years, the industry has preyed on minors with products that appear to look like candy being sold in convenience stores.
Importantly, Senate Bill 3 will prohibit these products from being marketed in likenesses to children's snacks such as Cheerios, Nerd Ropes, etc. And will prohibit these products from being sold in stores that are not limited to 21 and older customers. This will help get rid of the 24-hour vape stores that have popped up.
And consumer protections are critical, but banning a product that does not address the underlying issue, it simply removes options for consumers and penalizes responsible businesses.
The hemp industry creates more than 50,000 jobs in the Lone Star State and generates nearly $10 billion in revenue each and every year. That bill now heads back to the Senate, where it could once again become modified.
Members of Carry the Load made a stop in Texarkana to spread the message about the true meaning of Memorial Day. The nonprofit is nearing the end of their month-long relay to Dallas. Carry the Load is a little different this year, but their message is the same. The organization is focusing more on community events to help connect Americans to the sacrifices made by our military, veterans, first responders, and their families. The nationwide Teams event bus made a stop at the Truman Arnold Company on Robinson Road.
I think it's great for our company to show that we, as Americans, can come together and help sponsor each other, especially those who do pay the ultimate price.
It's my way of, recognizing all the heroes, whether they be military or first responders, and I understand the weight that families carry.
Money raised from the event goes to veteran charities and services. Coming up, a deadly shooting outside a Jewish museum in D.C. Why some suspect it's motivated by anti-Semitism.
It's cold. Mic check, mic check. And it's raining.
We are following some breaking news for you tonight. In the last 90 minutes, the man arrested and now accused of killing 2 Israeli embassy workers is now officially charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder. The victims, an engaged couple, shot and killed at the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington, D.C. overnight. Lionel Moise brings us the latest.
Gunfire outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in D.C. Wednesday night.
Last casualty was 1 and 2. Response 1, active shooter.
Officials say 2 Israeli staff members were shot and killed at close range while leaving a celebration of young Jewish diplomats. The Israel foreign minister identifying them as Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgram, a couple with plans to get engaged soon.
And there's no excuse in the world for creating terror, targeting innocent people like this. The world must wake up and collaborate together against terror and the roots of the terror.
The shooting suspect, identified as 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez of Chicago, D.C. police say he was seen pacing outside the museum before the shooting, then after the shooting walked into the museum. One witness giving him water, unaware of what just happened.
We offered him water and he reaches into his backpack and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, "I did it. I did this for Gaza."
This video showing the man believed to be the suspect surrounded by authorities chanting, "Free, free Palestine!"
He implied that he committed the offense. The suspect chanted, "Free, free Palestine," while in custody.
The FBI seen at a home in Chicago possibly linked to the suspect, agents wearing tactical gear as they went inside. The FBI's deputy director saying the shooting appears to be a targeted attack. Investigators trying to determine a motive and any possible ties to any terror organizations. The shooting drawing outrage.
There is no place for this hate in our country and in our world.
Secret Service now increasing security and patrols near the Israeli embassy and ambassador's residence. Here in New York, an increase in presence of the NYPD at Jewish sites and also other areas linked to the Israeli government. And just last week, the museum in D.C. was granted a $500,000 grant to increase security. Lionel Moise, ABC News, New York.
Closer to home today, marking 1 week since 10 inmates escaped from the Orleans Justice Center. Right now, the search continues for 5 inmates still on the run. New video tonight showing 3 of those inmates walking just casually down the street just hours after escaping. The men still in their jail uniforms. Yesterday, Governor Jeff Landry issued an executive order in response to those escapes. He's now calling for wide-reaching audits and reforms on prisons and jails across the state. So far, 3 people have been arrested in connection to that break. 1 jail worker is currently being held on a $1 million bond. 2 others are accused of harboring those inmates.
A new Atlantic hurricane season starts in just 10 days, and experts believe the tropics will be busy. Today, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration said we could see anywhere from 13 to 19 named storms, with 10 becoming hurricanes. Forecasts expect 3 to 5 to become major hurricanes. The new hurricane season comes as NOAA and FEMA are dealing with cuts to their budgets and staffing.
So the forecast was just released this morning from NOAA for the Atlantic hurricane season. The forecast is leaning above average for this upcoming season, kind of citing a multiple factors, whether that be the warm sea surface temperatures. We're not exactly in a La Nina as we were last year. We're kind of more in this neutral stage, which makes the forecast a little bit more challenging for this upcoming season. But nonetheless, the forecast for the season is leaning a little bit more towards above average, but that very well could be also closer to a more average, given the fact that we aren't, in a La Nina or El Nino type situation for this year.
Our meteorologists share their thoughts about the upcoming hurricane season on the latest episode of the Barksdale Bubble. You can find them at ktbs.com/podcasts.
Now, with your Willis Knighton Mega 3 Doppler radar, here's meteorologist Caroline Castora in the Mega 3 Storm Team Weather Center.
Season outlook just a little bit more because of the fact that it came out earlier today. You can see here, if you zoom in on the graphic, we're going to get going. It's talking right into it. You heard Johnette list off the 2025 stats, what they're anticipating. Average, though, the 30-year climatological average is 14 named storms. We have 7 hurricanes and then 3 major hurricanes on average. And that falls within this forecast or outlook that we have for this year. It's just at the lower end of the range. The reason it's such a range is because of what you heard Ryan say. It's more of a neutral phase this year for the ENSO La Nina El Nino situation that you're familiar with. I won't get into the science of it, but I thought it'd be interesting to start with this just because hurricane season starts very, very soon. But back to our weather. It's warm out there, 91 degrees once again, hanging out in the 90s, still here in Shreveport for yet another day that was anticipated. In fact, I have 90s rolling in our forecast for the foreseeable future until we get to Memorial Day. That temperature drops off. Now, why does that temperature fall off? A weather maker that unfortunately brings some rain to the region on Monday as well. So that would likely put a damper on any outdoor plans that you have to start the week off. But the start of the weekend looks to be a little bit nicer. Friday and Saturday specifically should be dry for you for any sort of plans that you have. Now, you're probably wondering, Caroline, why did you put a 10% there? You might hate when I put that 10% on the forecast, but the reason I'm doing it this time once again is because the setup that we have could still bring a little bit of rain to guess where? Our northern zones. That's the hot spot lately for where we've seen activity or any sort of coverage. That's where we currently have some stuff going on the radar, even though it's nothing impactful. We have severe weather threats over the next few days, but guess where they're at? Mostly in the northern zones once again. They downgraded our threat for today to just that marginal risk. Look, tomorrow it scrapes the northern zones and then again on Saturday. So if you live in northwest Louisiana or along and south of I-20, you don't really have anything to worry about as we roll through your Friday and Saturday, other than seeing those temperatures get into the 90s. You have to wait a little bit longer to see some rain possibly return to the forecast, probably at a time where you don't want it to. Radar shows a whole lot of nothing, just a little bit of moisture that might not even make it to the ground in our northern zones. Most of the energy was actually funneled west from that setup, at least in my opinion. That's where we have storms rolling through. Going to keep an eye on these to see if they work their way eastward. I'm not overly concerned about that though for tonight, and neither are the models, so that's a good thing. This is what it looks like as we roll through the next few hours. Maybe some development on your Friday if you watch over there, but I'm not even going to pause it for it because the coverage is so little and it's not even guaranteed to happen. Here's what it looks like though when I talk about coverage scraping the northern zones. This is Saturday at 7 in the morning. Really not much coverage up there at the northernmost point of the Arklatex. So we shift our focus to the end of the weekend and the start of this next week. This is Saturday. Once again, I wanted to show it, but really to show its transformation into Sunday's forecast in the afternoon and then evening hours. That's 6 o'clock. That's when we start to see some coverage build back in and unfortunately linger into your Memorial Day. This is 8:30 in the morning on Monday and it kind of sticks around. All of that moisture there, some reinforcing moisture as well as we move towards Monday night. So it's going to try to be a little bit soggy to start next week off, but at least it'll affect our temperature trend nicely, getting us back to closer to average and even below average for pretty much all of next week on the back half of the 7-day forecast. It's just going to be a little bit warm before we get to that point.
Welcome back, everyone. The place to be today, Louisiana Downs, where the thoroughbred season is underway.
Meteorologist Patrick Dennis joins us live with more on the place to be. Patrick.
Yeah, we are live out here today. We are at Louisiana Downs on the east side of Bossier City, a place that's been around now for more than 5 decades. Got to start back in 1974. We're learning a few different things about it, and joining me right now actually happens to be Roxanne. So Roxanne, let's just touch on a few things. Number one, this weekend. It's a big weekend, Memorial Day weekend. What kind of special things are planned?
So, of course, live racing Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. Monday being our exciting day with exotic racing.
Okay.
So we're going to have zebras, ostriches, camels. We're going to have
my.
those in between our thoroughbred races. So there'll be a lot of oh my's coming from the crowd.
Okay, so that's big weekend here for this weekend. There, you got that going on. Big summer coming up as well. Too, when people see some fair, meaning like the going rides and stuff out here in your parking lot, that's coming up when?
So it's going to start May 30th.
Okay.
And it's going to be a couple weeks, so June 15th.
Okay.
And it's going to have all the fair stuff. Funnel cakes, I'm told, too.
So you have racing here. We have live racing going on, not today per se, but we are during your live racing season right now.
Correct.
Okay, so that is going on right now, and that will that kick back up this weekend?
Yes, Sunday, first post time, 4:05.
Okay, got that there. So we're inside here, and actually back behind us is another thing that's now become sort of a permanent thing, obviously, with Louisiana Downs, a casino floor, right?
For sure, yeah, and ours keeps growing.
Keeps growing there with it, so you have that. And the thing of it is, too, folks, is that it's now legal. And what I mean by that is it's celebrating a birthday. How many years?
21st.
21st, so 21 years now as far as having the casino. And if people are looking for food, different food options, what do they have here?
We've got a little bit of everything. Kick your morning, start your day off here at Brew. Obviously, get caffeinated.
Okay, what's over here?
We've got Inside Rail, great sports food, Philly cheesesteak, burgers, all that good stuff.
And real quick to the left is?
And then we got Scoop and Slices, get your Chicago-style pizza and ice cream.
And don't forget about Lucky Palace is also located out here as well, folks. Come on out here and see them. It is a season for it here, kicking off this weekend. Fun summer plans for you. Louisiana Downs, the place to be with Patrick D.
All right, they have everything covered for you if you want to stay all day, make a day out of it. All right, Patrick, thanks so much.
Send it over to the place to be with Patrick D on this nice Thursday.
Hey everybody, we are here, Louisiana Downs, place to be with Patrick D for you for today, talking about Memorial Day weekend. They have a lot of great things going on out here at Louisiana Downs. Been around now for more than 50 years. Roxanne's been with me all day today talking about it. So this weekend, let's talk a little bit about it. What's the highlights of this weekend?
So the highlights of this weekend, we're not leaving anything off the plate for anybody and everybody. So not only do we got exciting casino action, we got horse racing galore with exotic races on Memorial Day. That's the first post time, 3:35, but bring the family out for that.
Yeah. Folks, I'm going to tell you one thing. We've been looking around this whole place today. I mean, they got suites and things that you can rent out if you want to do that for having a gathering, which is super cool. Great viewing for the races as well. But let's just say you want to come out and maybe you're into horse racing, but maybe not. Let's walk over this way here because we also have the casino floor as well. You've had this now for what, celebrating 21 years?
Correct. And we keep adding new games weekly, but we've added over 400 new machines. And like I said, we keep growing and expanding with new games every day.
And you want to eat, so let's talk a little bit about the eating here. You have Inside Rail over here to my left. What's their specialty?
So I think a little bit of everything. They've got great steaks, they've got wings, they've got a Philly cheesesteak that I recommend.
Okay, and over here we have ourselves what's called Scoop and Slices. Let me guess, it's ice cream and pizza?
Yes, you hit the nail on the head.
Okay, and you have Lucky Palace, very well-known Chinese restaurant here, known for its wines and its wine list. If you want coffee, you got Brew over here. So even if you're local, you're not into the horse racing part of it, you got a little bit of everything, it seems like, for everybody.
We want to make it accommodating for everybody. Great experience here at Louisiana Downs.
Okay, folks, place to be, Patrick D. It's racing here for you at Louisiana Downs, right?
You got it.
Come check them out, folks, and all. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. If you've not been out here, you need to come see it. If you've been out here, it might have been a while. Come see what great things they're doing at Louisiana Downs.
Now let's send it over to Patrick for the place to be this Thursday to see where he is at.
Hey everybody, the place to be with Patrick D. We are here at Louisiana Downs and we are getting you ready for the summer. And it all kicks off this weekend. You know what, Louisiana Downs, they've now been around now for more than 50 years, folks. Started back in 1974. Matter of fact, my grandfather actually was a cook here and he helped feed some of the, as far as the jockeys were concerned and other ones out here. So sort of a family connection dating back to the late 70s. But Roxanne's joining me right now with Louisiana Downs, and like I said, celebrating now. What year now we're celebrating?
This is our 52nd thoroughbred racing season that
Yeah.
we are in, but now 51 is our current year
Okay,
in operation.
So 1974 is when it got started. This weekend particularly. Let's talk a little bit about it because Memorial Day weekend kicks off the summer. It's a big weekend for you also here at Louisiana Downs.
It is. We've got all the family fun that you can ask for. We've got our exotic races returning on Memorial Day Monday, first post time 3:35. We're going to have food trucks, bounce houses, all the things that kids like to enjoy, but also the great things that families, adults like to enjoy with thoroughbred racing action, but also those exotic races.
Exotic races. When we say exotic races, we're talking about what kind of animals?
We're talking about camels,
Okay.
zebras, and ostriches.
Oh my, oh my, oh my. And people are jockeys or somebody's going to be riding these?
Yep. The goal is to get to the finish line.
The goal is to get to the finish
stay
line.
on.
To stay on the exotic animal there. But yeah, it's so cool coming out here to you folks. And by the way, we're in our season right now. This season's going to last until when?
September 26th.
Okay, so still a lot of time to take it in this summer. And a lot of great things also, in case you didn't know this, right back behind us here, actually happens to be Lucky Palace. That is a well-known restaurant here in our area.
Awesome Chinese food, world-renowned wine menu.
Yeah, so folks can also come and check this out as well with it. Pretty neat here, though, what they have going on. So Lucky Palace here at Louisiana Downs now, so you can find your place to come eat. You also have horse racing. Typically, on what days of the week is horse racing on?
Sunday, Monday, Tuesday.
Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. So the place to be with Patrick D, everybody, Louisiana Downs. If you haven't been here in a while, come check it out. If you've never been here, of course you need to come check it out. The place to be with Patrick D this upcoming Memorial Day weekend, Louisiana Downs.